In most tropical countries, floods are one of the hazards that accompanies the rainy season. In 2022, Nigeria experienced its worst flooding in decades, with several communities submerged, millions displaced, and at least 600 fatalities. This year, with the rains already here, some coastal communities have started experiencing extreme flooding. News Centre's Adesewa Odusoga visited one of the submerged communities in Lagos and filed this report.
Of course, the sun is out, but this is what it now looks like in Agungi area of Lagos State. This is a coastal region, and what you see now is not new to the residents. They say for every time it rains, the entire street gets flooded, and the situation can even be worse.
The bright sunny sky is a welcome respite for many residents impacted by the floods, but it also lays bare the magnitude of the damage caused. Joseph Amos is leaving his car to dry in the sun after he was submerged in the flood.
Yesterday, when I was coming back from work, I think around 4:52 a.m. By the way, I work in the club. So while I was done with work and then I was coming back, the rain had stopped to a great extent. So I just thought that the water was the durable, or rather was the bearable water that we could drive. Cars are driving on this one. I didn't know that the water was more than what was. You can't see the road. So while I was driving towards the bridge, as I was coming, the next thing I started feeling water on the seat of my car. And I was like, oh my God. And then the car now stopped. We had to push the car out of the water.
For Matthew, he has to resort to other means of transport to avoid wading through flood waters. He cycles. He said this is more cost-effective for him because vehicles break down in the water.
If the rain season time like this, nobody feel pass this place. Even people, all landlords that are living in this area, they no feel came out for their house.
On October 2022, the Lagos State government issued a warning to all waterfront residents of highbrow communities like this one to be wary of backflow due to the high tide in the Lagos Lagoon. The Lagos State Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tunji Bello, says the high tide of the lagoon has made it difficult for stormwater's runoff through the various channels to discharge effectively into the lagoon. This is said leads to flash flooding on the street and major roads until the level of the lagoon subsides to allow for proper discharge of the channels.
The spoiler, our compound, water they enter everywhere, they spoil everywhere, generator, everything.
I bet you guys, you guys came around yesterday, you would have seen how intensive it was and how critical it was. All this place was engulfed by water entirely, to its entirety.
Videos surfacing online also show a neighboring community where residents pay to be carried on people's back to avoid walking in the floods.
Businesses are partially shut down and then movements have been reduced to its barest minimum. A lot of the cars are broken down in this flood, raising fears in the minds of other residents from leaving the confines of their homes. Adesewa Odusoga reporting for News Central.